Good day, rescue enjoyers. I hope you're doing alright, because it's time for 48 analysis. Yes, just 2 days ago, all of these skins rotated into the Rust store, and basically in this video, we're going to go ahead, look at their progress based on sales, and figure out, are they still holding up to being perfectly fine investments, or are there any issues we need to be aware of? Are there any positives that we need to be aware of? We're going to try our best to go through all of that, and by the end of this video, you probably feel a whole lot more comfortable in wanting to potentially buy some skins, or maybe avoid it. Maybe just stick with a buy order. That usually is the safest option. So what are we currently looking at here? Well, this is my Twitter. If you want to get a link to that, look in the description of this video right now. You see all of my socials. Well, basically, with every new Rust store, after the first 24 hours of sales, I'll go to sum.app, take a screenshot of the sales that it has listed there, and I'll tweet it out. And, well, the main reason I do this is so we can make comparisons to previous weeks, such as last week, which unfortunately SUM was down, but I still kept track of the subscriber counts, which is what we normally track anyway. And, in short, if you were to look at the sales we've had with the current Rust store, Thundergold Tier 2 seems to be doing quite alright. Nothing too insane. Yeah, this Rust store right here is a bit surprising based on, well, post-Christmas this year. Post-Christmas this year wasn't exactly super crazy, and normally, you know, for a January Rust store, we tend to see quite a lot of sales. Looking at the state of that, I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing wild, crazy, like tons of purchases. No, it's calm, it's tame, and it's very weird. Very weird, all right? So, as I said, normally we tend to see a lot, but not this week. But at the very least, it is better compared to the previous week. So as you can see here, Thundergold kilt over here, just over 9,000 bare minimum sales, subscriber count that is. Then of course we have the helmet, just under 8,500. Then we have the vest right here, just over 8,200 subscriber count, aka bare minimum sales. Now I could also take a look at the likes of the Chameleon SAP, just under 6,000 sales. I honestly would have thought it would have had more than that. And then we have the likes of the Redemption Revolver, just barely over 5,000 subscribers. So all the skins, I was like, this looks to be pretty interesting as an investment. They're not really selling that much, but as an investor, that's pretty good. So we'll be looking at a little bit more at that in a second. But as you can see here, well, with last week's Rust store, that being the introduction of the charity skins that we already have. As you can see here, we have the Trust and Rust skins. They're still around. The event, I believe, has just about ended earlier today, so I'm pretty sure maybe these might get removed, or maybe they will persist until the next Rust store. We shall see. But those were introduced last week, and we were under the assumption that Facepunch wanted to pick some skins that weren't exactly going to be super standout, you know, potentially take away any attention from the charity skins. So yeah, not too surprising to see they didn't really sell that much. And with what we have here, the skins here are doing better compared to last week. Not surprising. But I thought to go a little bit further back. See, we've been doing a lot of focus in regards to Thundergold this week, haven't we? Why don't I go further back and take a look at the first 24 hours of sales for the Tier 3 armor? And there's a very interesting detail that we can instantly notice. As you can see, with the likes of this Tier 3 armor, well, face mask did over 11,000 bare minimum sales, and the chest plate just under 11,000 bare minimum sales. AKA, the Tier 3 armor, after the first 24 hours of sales, did quite a fair bit better compared to that kilt. And we've been talking a lot about that kilt. When I first saw the Tier 2 armor, I did talk a lot about that kilt more specifically in comparison to the likes of Whiteout collection. If the Whiteout kilt, currently selling for about $15 to $16, well, that's slowly been rising up in price as time has gone on, and very recently with the likes of post-Christmas, Whiteout collection actually did peak to new all-time high prices. So this right here, that's been very interesting to look at, along with the likes of Coffee Can and the vest. But typically, the kilt usually always is the most valuable piece. It's the only leg armor that we have. So we will be talking more about that as we jump in and start properly talking about the current sales. But we now need to talk about the first 48 hours of sales. So, as I quickly hop over to here, I'll just quickly point out to you, I'm recording this a fair bit later. So, with what we have here at the screenshot, this is the 48 hours of sales. As you can see, the likes of Thundergold now, just under 13,000 sales, looking perfectly fine. And bare minimum sales for likes of the Coffee Can and the Vest 2, where they're just sitting over, 11,500 sales there, and 11,800 sales there. It's doing okay. Then you've got the likes of the Red Armored Container Door, just under 10,000 bare minimum sales, the subscriber count. The Chameleon SAP, just over 8,000 bare minimum sales, and the Redemption Revolver, just over 7,000 bare minimum sales. You also have the other skins here, but they're not exactly doing super crazy. But now we need to go over to here And let's go take a look at the actual current sales. So it's a good couple hours since the 48 hours. And as you can see here, we're a fair bit higher with our sales. And now I'm going to jump in and just go nuts talking about the likes of this Thundergold road sign kilt. So we make comparisons with the likes of our previous skins that came up before. Every time we see a new core piece, the main thing we have to worry about, if it's one of the later pieces to be accepted, is to see will it actually match up to or potentially sell less than the pre-existing skins. And at the current rate that we're looking at, I kind of wouldn't be surprised if this potentially matches up to tier 3 or potentially sells less than. I can't help but feel like when we talk about this on Wednesday night, figuring out prices for abnormals and whatnot, well, that might get an extra batch of sales from Wednesday night rolling into Thursday. Of course, because, well, if it looks like it's going to have a ton of support behind it, I just can't help but feel like it's going to get a few more sales from then. And like with the cursed hide pants that we had literally last week, that did like an extra few thousand sales overnight, Wednesday rolling into Thursday. So kind of wouldn't be surprised that potentially happens to this. But regardless, even if the likes of these skins just so happen to sell maybe a couple thousand more than tier 3, that would still be fine. That would still be fine. And regardless, don't forget, we are still expecting the likes of hoodie and pants. It might not happen like immediately, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see them eventually, all right? So looking at the position these are in, it is looking very good for them, okay? They might not be selling a lot, but for us investors, that means there's a lot less of them potentially available, and of course, that usually means all the better for it to rise up in price. My current expectation is that these, more specifically the kilt, well, I think the kilt is going to potentially just match up to or go slightly above the tier 3 armor, which is still perfectly fine. But the coffee can and the vest, I would be surprised if they go slightly below or just about match up to the tier 3 armor sales. These will have less than a kilt for sure, and that's normal. You can see it right now. Clearly, the kilt is a whole lot more popular. So, as I quickly hop out of here and show you one very good example in regards to why that kilt right there is quite popular, it's because this collection is just getting more and more expensive. Now, as I was pointing out, whiteout kilt, it's now pushing up to $16. Over the course of the past few years, it's just been going up and up and up and up, and I don't think it'll be stopping from here. Yes, the post-Christmas wasn't exactly super crazy, but it was perfectly fine for whiteout. Whiteout reached a new all-time high price, and I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't stop from here. Yes, it might dip down a fair bit for a while, but summertime, back up again. Wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. So, point I was trying to get across to all of you is, as this gets more and more expensive, who in their right mind can afford all of that? And so, this is where people start to look for budget alternatives. And this is where the likes of this, but again, these pieces as well, still perfectly fine as well, because again, when you take a look at the likes of the whiteout collection, sorry, I shouldn't have left, but you get the idea, that coffee can in the whiteout collection is like $27, isn't it? It's $26, and the vest, $13. So these are expensive. And well, if you can't afford it, you're probably going to look at the likes of that. That's if you're actively wanting tier 2 armor. I get the feeling people only really care about tier 3. Again, it's up to people. It's up to different people. But again, when you look at the likes of total sales for that whiteout collection, those vests and coffee cans did sell a significantly less amount compared to tier 3 armor. Whatever. Let's move on. So one thing I want to do is I want to just quickly showcase this to you. Out of all of the kilts that we have in the game, how many of them are white? And how expensive are they? So let's just do this real quickly. So as I go over to here, I'm on the SMM items database. I'm going to click this. I'm going to go to road sign kilt. And I want to look at highest prices. Most expensive, please. So immediately we notice whiteout's one of the most expensive kilts. Not surprising. And as I scroll down, you'll see the likes of No Mercy kilt there. It's a blend of white and black, but it's got a notable decent amount of white there. Scroll down a little bit more. Oh, there you go. Cobalt Armour pants, $4.55. Scroll down a little bit more. Glory kilt, $4.30. Scroll down a little bit more. What else do we see? You could maybe say Patchwork's fairly white. Not really. It's like grey, but whatever. And as I go down here, some people might say Porcelain Roadside Pants. It's a bit blue. I don't really think it's white. Camouflage, it's got like the black blotches. So, in short, all the notably clearly white kilts, they're like $4 to $5 each. And our new Thundergold pants, roadside kilt, sorry to say, yeah, that's $2.50 at the moment. And it's not exactly selling excessively. What do you think might happen to that then? What do you think might happen to that? So I can't help but feel like it's in a very prime position, it being potentially the most affordable and approachable white coloured kilt right now. So, back over to here. If this does end up selling around 20,000 and then stops, if it's like completely equal to the Tier 3 armour, that's looking to have a very, very, very nice future ahead of it. And don't forget, we still are expecting the likes of the Thundergold hoodie and pants, which of course would be a budget whiteout option, but it'll be a continuation of the set. It'll be a brand new core piece, and we'll see the spike in demand, spike in price. That'll be ever so nice. And if you were to go take a look at the front page of the Rust Steam market right about now, well, it's got a whole bunch of cloth. Oh damn, really? But honestly, throughout all the day, is this correct? Is this not broken? I don't know. Something's gone weird. Well, I will assure you, over the past whole day, we've been seeing the likes of Tier 3 armour, the gloves, and the boots constantly on the front page. They are constantly getting bought out. And, well, will it hold? We shall see. But I kind of wouldn't be surprised that maybe a lot of people who return to play the game, so let's just quickly show this off to you. Well, if the Tier 3 came out during, October, maybe a lot of people who obviously have been missing since then, probably didn't even realise Thundergold existed. Loads of people hopped onto buying whiteout, wanting to make bases in the white, snowy tundra, but maybe only recently did they know, or realise, there was another white collection that was accepted a few months back? Oh, damn. So maybe from here and now, this is like a new standard, like a new level of price it's going to be sitting at. Maybe it's never going to go below Maybe it's never going to go below $3. Who knows? We'll have to keep an eye on it. But as I said, on the horizon, we do now start to anticipate the arrival of hoodie and pants. Will it happen immediately? I do not think so. But it will happen eventually, I'm sure. Right, so I've mentioned a lot of positives. Now we have to kind of question the potential of some negatives. And again, it's not too hard to notice. It's the possibility that this might sell too much. So at the current rate, it doesn't look like it's going to sell more than Tier 3, but the more I talk about it the way I have just a minute ago, the more likely other people are going to listen in and think, oh, damn, I better go on that, I better jump in and buy some. So, when we do our abnormal builders this upcoming Wednesday night, I won't be surprised if we have a very, very, very strong support with all the builders potentially pushing all the way up to about $2.50, and well, it's probably going to entice a lot of people to want to go ahead and actually buy some. Because, well, on the horizon, as I've already showcased to you, that right now is effectively the best and most affordable and approachable, cheapest option for a white kilt. It is potentially going to have a new core piece on the horizon. I think I already mentioned that 5 times. But then again, I also just mentioned a lot of people seem to be mixing and matching this now with the likes of whiteout. I've constantly seen the whiteout hoodie and pants and the comics hoodie and pants on the front page over the past 24 hours because, of course, people obviously can see the likes of this collection doesn't have the clothing yet. So I'm pretty sure it's popular. I'm pretty sure it's being used. I'm pretty sure it will effectively have a reasonable amount of popularity as time goes on. And, during the likes of the summertime, we are expecting player counts to improve again and hopefully potentially go even higher compared to last year. I can't help but think that's going to be doing A-OK throughout all of this year. Now, is there a potential that it could go below its rust-off price? Well, if we sold a lot more, I wouldn't have doubted it. Look at what happened recently with the likes of the Legacy Kevlar hoodie and pants. We didn't instantly get a new piece of clothing and armour for the collection, and they've already suffered because, well, people kind of overreact. Let's see if we potentially see some new pieces appearing on the workshop over the course of this weekend. We shall see. But you can see, sold a stupidly high amount, instantly suffers. Go take a look at the state of them on the Steam market. How many are listed? Well, what do you see? 45, 43, 24. Yeah, no, that's not good, especially for a $2 skin for the hoodie. So anyway, point I'm trying to get across is we have to be cautious, we have to be careful, but I just can't help but think it's going to be doing reasonably okay. And reasonably okay is perfectly fine. Okay, so we'll look at this Wednesday night. We'll make a decision then. We'll do the abnormal builders first, and then, if the support's very strong and the sales are still reasonably good looking, that's fine. We're going to be jumping on that. And, well, I very likely will be too. Yeah, I'm definitely considering it. Right then, so we got that all nice and established. Thundergold is in a very good position. Now, I know I spoke mostly about the kilt, but I will sit here and say this. If the coffee can and the vest do reach a point where they sell quite a fair bit less than 20,000, yes, both of them could also have a very nice future ahead of them. As we saw the likes of the whiteout skins, the coffer can helmet for that is like $26 and the vest is like $13. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that those two skins are definitely going to be going up in price because of that, but I can't help but feel like these are going to be the lowest selling armor pieces in the full set. And you can even take a look at the likes of the Forest Raiders set. Same thing happened there because, well, Forest Raiders is very popular. People want a full set. And if I were to go to the highest prices, you might notice that all of Tier 2 is here. Because when you look at the total sales, or rather the subscriber count, you'll see this is significantly less compared to what we see with the hoodie and the pants and the Tier 3 armor. So thousands lower, and that's led to it becoming less available and therefore a whole lot more valuable. So as time goes on, we'll see what happens like those. Point is, Thundergold's looking to be very interesting. So keep that in mind. Shall we move on to the next skin? Let's start talking about the likes of Red Armored Container Door. So someone's made a point. Someone's made a very important note to me, a very important detail, pointing out with the likes of this. This apparently doesn't match up with the sheet metal building skins red wall. That's not good. Apparently this is a different shade of red. Quite surprised by that. I would have thought Mad Polly would have made sure that it would at least like link up. But apparently they didn't. So this is awkward. I'm going to have to properly check this out, in-game. But with what we see here, as I've already mentioned, it's a fair bit tame for an armoured door. Now, if you take a look at all the armoured door skins that we had accepted last year, all of them pretty much glowed in the dark. 2 of them have transparency. No, yeah, it's 2 of them. I forgot. I thought Dungeon. But Dungeon Garage Door is the one that was transparent. So anyway. Yeah, it doesn't really stand out very well. And literally, right now, or rather, no, it's just ended. Loads of people just got this for free. A glow-in-the-dark, very nice and shiny armoured door. Restoria armoured door. And that's for free. It was a Twitch drop. I just don't imagine it's going to hold. And again, as we point out of all these are nice, colourful, and stand out with their glow-in-the-dark. They're all in the negative. I do not expect that to be doing all right. And then again, you might sit and say, it's only done 10,000 sales. Okay, fair enough. All right, that has sold quite a lot less compared to these. But again, it's just like a very, very, very straightforward design. Nothing superly expressive and superly colourful. But you know what? Fair enough. Compared to all of the other skins, it's actually done quite all right. It's this rust door. It's just weird. People aren't wanting to spend money. And that's just post-Christmas in general at the moment. So with the state of that, again, I'm still not convinced. I'll do a buy order, but maybe not a very strong one. So please don't forget, all the skins here with this current rust door this week are abnormal. Every single one of them. You can chase after that if you'd like, but like I said, I just don't imagine it's going to be doing super crazy down the line. So I'll just stick with a fairly tame buy order. If I pick some up, I'll pick some up. Try and sell them for a decent profit down the line. Sounds good? Shall we move on? Okay, so let's start talking about the likes of the Chameleon SAP. So this is the newest piece for the Chameleon Collection, and throughout the past few months, Chameleon Collection has sold very nicely. Chameleon Collection has usually appeared on the likes of the front page of the Steam market, and, well, it's done a fairly decent job in retaining its value. You might sit there and say, but the custom SMG, the LR300, they're suffering pretty badly. Yeah, but that's a custom SMG. That's an LR300. That's a gun demand issue. All right? But with the likes of what we saw here with some of these other skins, not too long ago, they were all in the positive. But problems happened, and post-Christmas wasn't very good. So with all of these skins that you see here, they are doing a lot better compared to the average skins for those items, those weapons. Now, will things potentially improve by the summertime? I sure hope so. Will we see all of these end up going in price as time goes on? Again, I sure hope so. There was very strong demand for this in the lead up to post-Christmas this year, but post-Christmas this year kind of just fell flat. Anyway, let's put more focus towards the likes of this SAP. So the very first thing that I did when I looked at that was, again, I reminded myself of the Redemption collection, because I kind of look at both of these collections and see that they're both in-demand weapon collections. But more specifically, I have to go remind myself that not too long ago, we had this Redemption SAP in the Rust store. It only did just about over 10,000 sales, but as you can see here now, it's in the positive 20% up. And if you were to look at all of the other skins that came out during that year, it was the standout one. It was nice, it was shiny. And well, when that came out, I made a comparison to the likes of the Black Gold set. See, this also did a very, very, very good job of retaining its value, and we'll take a look at that one more time. See, this has been around for a good year or so. As you can see right now, it's just about $4, and as we see its history, doesn't really go down in price that much, doesn't really go up in price that much, it's just kind of there. And with a smart buy order, every purchase you make would have been a profit at some point. So anyway, point I'm trying to get across is, for a fairly well in demand and popular SAP skin, there is a very decent chance it's always going to do fairly alright. So like to that, I expect that to happen. And at the current rate, if this starts to cool down and probably ends up with about, I don't know, 13 to 15,000 sales, I think that could work out reasonably okay. I think that could potentially end up being a fairly in-demand skin. We'll just have to wait from here on now. At the current position with the likes of that, I am being a little bit extra cautious with all skins this year. I might just stick with doing a buy order in that Chameleon set. I'm not hating on it, it's just people don't get instant gratification. People just give up and unload their stock in the Steam market. It's happened so much recently. I can see that doing better down the line, but that might be a long-term situation. That's where I'm kind of standing in the position of, well, why don't I just do a buy order instead? Will that go below its restore price? Wouldn't be surprised. But I don't expect it to go absolutely diabolically below and down to $1. No. But I wouldn't be surprised if it potentially ends up between $1.50 to $2 for a while. But as time goes on, ends up doing quite all right. So yeah, I'm looking at that and thinking it's going to probably end up with 13 to 15,000 sales. We'll see how things turn out by Wednesday night. We'll get a much better clue in regards to where things might end up with the likes of this skin. Right, shall we move on then? Let's go take a look at this Redemption Revolver. So I'm sure many of you are well aware, revolvers tend to be very reliable investments. As you can see, all of the revolver skins that can be sold, every single one of them's in the positive. That's nice to see, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's definitely going to always be like this. You never know. Maybe they nerf revolvers. Maybe they do something absolutely diabolical that makes us all suffer. You never know if they make it an undesirable weapon. The very, very, very nice key thing with this is it's got very high gun demand. Probably the most go-to tier 1 weapon that people are going to try and acquire early in their brand new fresh wipe. And, it doesn't hurt to have a very nice looking skin. And as you can see over here, very nice cranberry red sheen, very useful red aim sight, useful for every single environment. I can't help but feel like that has a very nice future ahead of it. Not only based on the amount of people wanting to buy it and use it, but just in general, a very nice investment. So we did not too long ago, we did talk about the likes of the Soul Eater Revolver. Didn't sell that much. Not exactly a super standout crazy skin. Still doing perfectly fine. Up 33%. And, well, at the current rate of what this is currently selling at, this might end up at about 13,000 sales. That is not that much. And when you make comparisons to some previous skins we've seen, not E-Class Revolver, don't worry. That's glitched. That's glitched through SCM.app. This has a lot less people who own it. It's just copying from this one. So No Mercy Revolver doing perfectly fine. That right there had about 16,000 bare minimum sales, perfectly fine, hasn't gone below its restore price, doing perfectly fine. And then a year before that we had the likes of these skins here. You had the likes of Headhunter Revolver, not exactly a super flashy crazy looking skin, just about 14,000 sales, perfectly fine. Black Gold Revolver sold for $4, still selling for $4, perfectly fine to a point. But yeah, you get the idea. So that right there, I actually might be going ahead and actually buying, because I just can't really see it suffering that much. And listen to me, if you happen to have an account that has a lot of buy orders in it, and you're kind of getting to the point where it's not going to be able to do that many buy orders anymore, but you have other accounts, well, you could go buy a whole bunch of them, wait a while, trade all of them to the other accounts you have, sell them, get your money back essentially, and then you've basically moved your money from one account to another and didn't suffer with the problems of, having to pay the Steam tax. So yeah, that actually might work out quite alright as a thing that you might want to buy, and something that's going to usually, well, it's expected to always retain its value. Now, during the absolute worst of times, maybe it does go below its restore price. Wouldn't be surprised. But when times are relatively tame or okay, it's expected to always be in the positive. That is a very, very nice skin. And I am probably going to go buy a couple hundred. Yeah. I can't stop myself. I know I said Hedge is going to play it extra safe this year, but some things are just too good to turn down. I really hope they don't mess around with the Revolver and cause problems in which I end up stuck with 100 plus of them. I still own a whole bunch of MP5s when they used to be good. Then June 2022 rolled in with the recoil update. Anyway, in short, by Wednesday, I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't really have that much more sales, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's looking to be an even more perfect-looking investment. So, it's up to you what you do, but I'm looking at that with a lot of positivity. Let's now roll into talking about the likes of the Cursed Boonie Hat. So, 3 weeks on the trot, we've received Cursed Primitive skins. We got these two, then just this. No booties, not sure why. But I do have to point this out. See, these aren't exactly doing super crazy in terms of their prices. That's not too hard to notice. 0%, only up 1%. Will this improve as time goes on? Around the summertime? I hope so. Now, we also do have to talk about the idea of, well, how often do we actually see the likes of hide clothing being accepted? Well, last year we did see 2, and, well, it was a lot more compared to what we've seen over the past few years, based on the fact that before this, for 5 years, we had not yet had another hide shirt skin after just these 2. Will that change with this year? We shall see, because this was literally just the first one of 2024. I don't know if we're going to see more, but at the moment, with the likes of that, it didn't sell that much compared to Pirate, and I'm pretty sure it very likely could do a good job of retaining its value and potentially going up even higher. But that's more based around the idea of, will we keep seeing more and more cursed skins being accepted? Well, with the likes of just this Boonie Hat appearing this week, well, I feel like we kind of need a little bit more. Maybe some burlap shirt and pants. Maybe a disco mask. Maybe something else. Maybe we end up with tier 3, tier 2 or hoodie and pants. That might be a bit quick. Especially based on the fact that this is like black clothing and armour, isn't it? We literally just had Legacy Kevlar. We'll see. But with the likes of what we have here, first of all, let's just go take a look at all the other Boonie Hats that we've had accepted. And, well, last year we had 5, well, one of them being for free. Well, one of them was the Pirate Boonie Hat, and that sold a fairly tame amount. Yeah, not really. That was over 20,000. Compare that to the others, it's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, even then, still perfectly fine in the positive. Why? Because it's part of a full-fledged collection, the Pirate Primitive collection to be precise. This right here isn't really selling that much, and we do, technically speaking, have a full Cursed Primitive collection here. Could still expect more, though. I can't help but feel like this might also do a fairly decent job in retaining its value, and potentially sitting here, like this, in the positive. But only up by 35%, 35 extra pennies. Is that something you're going to be happy about? Are you going to be pleased with that? Well, I mean, if you probably bought like 50 or 100 of them, you might be able to make some pretty good profits with that, wouldn't you? But will it? Will there be more primitive skins being accepted this year? There you go. You do have to question it a lot. So if you just want to play it safe, a buy order would be perfectly fine. I'm looking at that and thinking that that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, 6,900 sales at the moment. This is going to probably push up to about 10 to 12,000 sales by Wednesday. Yeah. I feel like it's going to be doing pretty good in terms of retaining its value, because I just don't think we're going to be seeing many of these listed on the Steam market. But time will tell. Boonie Hats, whilst we kind of didn't really used to see them that much before, we have kind of got quite a lot recently, and I don't think they really do an insanely good job of retaining their value. But even then, as I said, I still feel like this has a fairly good chance. I do expect more to appear later on, and with the somewhat full set, it should do a decent job of retaining its value. But to make a good profit out of something that only retains its value, you got to do a buy order, and you got to offer lower. So we'll proceed with that, won't we? So things are looking okay if you stick with doing a buy order. Then with the likes of the Plague Metal Door, I'm not hating on the design. For what it is, that's fine, that's cool, glow in the dark, very freaky, oh no. But I've seen my share of the likes of glow in the dark sheet metal doors. We saw tons of them last year. Quite literally, like, sheet metal door skins are a bit of a problem based on the fact that we get far too many of them every single year. We get far too many of them. Too many to pick from, too many to compare to. There was also the fact that we literally just got this for free, a glow-in-the-dark old-school metal door, and the Trust and Rust clone metal door, which looks very cool. They're trying to escape. You can't let them. So, point I'm trying to get across is, I just don't think it's going to hold up very nicely. And another reassuring point that's a little bit Demotivating. Look at all the $2.49 glow-in-the-dark doors that we had last year, and, well, look at them now. They are down by half. And more, higher, as in they've lost a lot of their price, a lot of their value, which is very unfortunate to see. So overall, we are definitely going to be seeing a whole lot more sheet metal doors this year, and there's a fairly decent chance they're going to overshadow that, and this will suffer because of it. In short, you could just probably do like a 70-cent buy order, and I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if you end up picking a bunch of these later this year. So, yeah, awkward. Buy order it is. El Diablo AR. So this isn't selling that much. Not too surprised. It's not like El Diablo's like a crazily in demand set. It's got a lot of skins accepted. Facepunch likes it. But yeah, this isn't exactly like changing the world. And then we also have to remind ourselves, much like sheet metal doors, AK-47s have far too many options as well. We keep seeing more and more and more and more and more and more of these being accepted. We literally just about 2 weeks ago had the Blackstone AR being accepted, and that's already down to $1. That was quick, but it was expected. So you might sit there and say, wow, this is special. Well, guess what? I said, wow, this is special multiple times during the likes of 2023. In short, people aren't loyal to their AKs. There's always going to be another AK, and when people see that brand new AK, they're going to throw away the old one and grab the new one. And guess what? Next week, there'll probably be another very cool looking AK, and people go, wow, I like that, and they're going to throw away their old one and get the new one. I bring up this analogy all the time, because it keeps happening. So yes, you might sit there and say, this AK looks awesome, I want it, I like it, I'll be using it. Well, how long will you be using it for? So the state of that, it's looking like that'll probably only reach about 10,000 sales. Nothing too crazy. But with the $3.49 price, I'm not too surprised by that. But I don't think it's going to be retaining that price. No. So, yeah. Probably only going to be a $1 buy order, and I'm not joking. We'll leave that for Wednesday. We'll talk more about it, but don't assume this is going to do a good job in retaining its value. Then with the likes of the Gold Ore Furnace, and Gold Ore Collection? There was a golden... Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't know that was a continuation. Really? Was that made by Bad Trip? Does that count? Does that count as I guess. I guess it counts as a collection. Very well then, there you go. Anyway, so... Furnaces. Let's go take a look at all the furnaces that came out last year. See how they're currently holding up. That's doing all right. And then everything else, no. And then you had the Abyss Furnace. That's doing all right. And then, nope, nothing else. So, unfortunately, even though we got an absurd amount of furnaces accepted last year, only 2 of them are currently in the positive. That doesn't sound good, does it? No. So, I'm going to be honest with you. There's nothing exactly wrong with the design of it. I respect it. It's ore. It's gold ore. It's not all nice and refined and shiny. It's reasonably okay. But anyway, point is, I don't think people are going to be going crazy for this forever. I don't think I kind of get the feeling people might forget this exists. Don't want to sound mean, but that wouldn't be too surprising, would it? It's a shame. It's a shame. But take a look at all the furnaces that came out last year. You can understand my hesitancy. I got burned out buying a bunch of very cheap furnaces, and then they got cheaper. Yes, even with a smart buy order, I still ended up losing money. Well, I haven't lost it yet because I haven't sold the skins yet. And I'm kind of just holding on to them until the skins go back up in price. I'm still waiting. So yeah, unfortunately, furnace skins just aren't very reliable in my eyes, so I don't want to go near them anymore. So, we did discuss all the skins. Shall we kind of go over and figure out how much of each of these skins will sell? Like, how much will each of them sell? Before I say anything, right, I will sit here and say, don't forget, all of the skins that came out this week, they are all abnormal. Every single one of them. They will all become marketable on the Steam market at the exact same time, Wednesday night rolling into Thursday morning, midnight UK time. Okay, so looking at the state of the likes of Thundergold Tier 2, my estimation was, when you make a comparison to likes the Tier 3 armour, you notice that these did about 20,000, 21,000 sales. Well, actually, I guess you could say 20,000 to 22,000 sales. My estimate is that this kilt will probably match up to or go slightly over in terms of total sales compared to Tier 3, and my expectation for the coffee can and the vest was it's very likely going to sell just under the amount that the Tier 3 sold for, or match up to it. So that's my expectation. I don't imagine this is going to be selling recklessly, stupidly, but we'll wait and see when we look at this again on Wednesday night. So, reasonable amount of sales. These are expected to do about 20,000 in total. We shall see what the actual result is in a few days' time. With the likes of this red armoured door, kind of wouldn't be surprised if this ends up at about 15,000 sales. I'm surprised to see it sold quite a fair bit. Maybe it does slow down from here on now. It's not exactly a super, like, crazy in your face design, but very grounded, and people do appreciate things like that. But yeah, I think this is only going to do maybe another 5,000 sales. We shall see. Then we've got the likes of the Chameleon SAP. Based on what I'm seeing here, I can't help but feel like this is going to probably end up doing between 11,000 to 13,000 sales. With the likes of this Redemption Revolver over here, I can't help but feel like that's going to probably do about the same. Maybe a little bit less. Maybe it only ends up with about 11,000 on the dot. Well, if that is the case, all the better for that to potentially rise in price. That Revolver right there is definitely going to be a very interesting skin to chase after. Cursed Boonie Hat at the current rate, I feel like that's going to probably only do about 10 to 11,000 sales. Nothing too crazy, but it is what it is. This Sheet Metal Door, I think this is going to probably end up smack dab on the dot, 10,000 sales. Might do a little bit more. As I said, I'm not looking at that with a lot of positivity. I don't think it's going to retain its value. Then we have the likes of the Diablo AR. Again, this is going to probably do about 9,000 to 10,000 sales. Yeah, that's going to probably be about that. And even then, I wouldn't be surprised if it struggles to retain its value. I hardly expect it to go down at least half pretty quickly. And then the Gold Ore Furnace. This is going to probably only do about 7,000 to 8,000 sales. Yeah. That very likely could be very vulnerable to being manipulated at some point in the future. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. So those are the skins this week. Yes, there is some interesting details in regards to two notable skins that were the likes of this and this. And yeah, you got the Thundergold and SAP still looking good. But when I looked at the Rust Store rotation, these were the first two skins that caught my eye. Right, so let's just kind of talk about the current situation in regards to Rust as a whole. So earlier today, we did reach up to about 146,000 peak player count, which is very good. We're about 3 weeks into January time. Please do not forget, February Force Wipe is literally February 1st. So we've got next Rust Store next week, and it's just immediately a Force Wipe after that. We're getting likes of backpacks, and well, this is where I have to talk about the likes of commits. Are you currently looking at the commits page? Are you actually keeping an eye out for all the new potential content that's coming out? Well, I will sit here and say it doesn't look like it's going to be a massive update, but we do have the likes of metal detector and backpacks on the horizon. Apparently, as you can see here, the Eoka might have a bit of a buff. The Eoka might look... I can't say it properly. The Eoka more likely to shoot after every failed strike. I guess that's a buff. Yeah, that would technically be a buff. I don't think it's going to change the meta, but maybe more people want to use Eokas from here on now. We shall see. But yeah, we're not noticing anything completely different, but always keep an eye on this. You never know what's potentially going to come out on the horizon. More specifically, Lunar New Year's just around the corner. It's going to be Year of the Dragon, which is weird because we already have a dragon mask. That's because when they did the first ever Lunar New Year mask, actually, if I do it this way, Lunar New Year. Yep, there we go. The very first one they decided to do was dragon because I guess they probably felt like that was a whole lot more symbolic compared to the animal that would have been that year. Would it have been the dog? I think so. Anyway, point made with the likes of that. That right there, it might make a return, or we get a new one, or for the year that came out, and you know what, I could do this just real quickly. Lunar New Year animal 2019. What was the animal? It was the pig. We didn't get a pig mask. Do you reckon we might get a pig mask replacement in about 3 weeks' time? We shall see. Oh, yes, indeed. But on the horizon, do expect the likes of these items to return. Maybe not that. Sky Lantern didn't return last year. If it fails to return again this year, well, we might have to consider maybe investing into the likes of that because why did it only get released 1 year? Who knows? Maybe get a brand new item. Who knows? We shall see. But it's all just around the corner. But the funny thing is, right, during the same week, we have Lunar New Year and Valentine's. Yes, indeed. So, go look for all those previous skins that we've seen. So, over the past few years, for Valentine's Rust Stores, we got a whole bunch of pink skins, didn't we? Yep, get a good look at this. Here we are, come on. So last year we got the likes of the Kiss AR, we've got the very cute Anime Girl, Garage Door, Love Struck. Actually, you know what? That's actually a very, very, very good thing to bring up. Yes, we have all the core pieces of Love Struck, but we are missing two notable skins. Where's the boots and the gloves? Ooh, could that potentially have a nice positive impact? Well, we'll have to wait and see. So we could look pretty in pink again. We very likely will be getting a whole bunch more pink skins. But the expectation is, with the upcoming Rust store for, the second week of February, it's going to be 50% Lunar New Year, and then maybe a few days later when Valentine's rolls in, we'll then have the Valentine skins as well. Maybe they happen at the same time. We shall see. Maybe we merge our Lunar New Year and Valentine skins so that we have like big love heart dragons and stuff. So, yeah, we shall see, we shall see. So that's on the horizon. It's just around the corner now, isn't it? So what else is there that we could probably show off? We should probably show off the previous week's skins, how they're currently holding up. So that's just about evens. This is still doing okay. The tools are doing all right. Not too surprised because, as we said, they sold for a cheaper price, and it's going to be quite hard for them to sell below their Rust store price. Abyss Reds and Gloves retaining Royal M249, not doing a very good job with that. Very awkward. So... and the Cozy Wooden Door's gone down a fair bit. And then the week before this, the Force White for January 2024. These two skins are down a fair bit. It's unfortunate we didn't get the likes of the boots and the gloves being accepted with the previous Rust store, well, the current Rust store that we have. But the boots and the gloves are still potentially in line to potentially being picked for the next Rust store, the last Rust store of January 2024. So don't give up on that, don't give up on that. And who knows, we're still missing the likes of the vest and the coffee can. Surely that's got to get made at some point. Then with the likes of Cursed Bandana only retaining its value, not surprised at all to see the likes of this Black Gold L96 suffering. We are not surprised by that at all. We knew that was going to happen. That suffering down 51% already. Pirates are down 30% already. That's unfortunate. We already saw that. That's not looking too good. Unfortunately, Pirate Large Box is not doing super great. But the weird thing is, hardly any stock on the Steam market. So as you go over to here, you'll notice that there is only 41 listed on the Steam market. So, awkward, but unfortunately you can attribute that based on the fact that it's just not in demand. Price doesn't help because of that. Could things improve as time goes on? Well, we've got to see a whole lot more Pirate Deplorables being accepted, don't we? Then we also have the likes of the Chameleon Custom SMG. Well, it's a custom SMG. Go take a look at all of them, and it's not too hard to notice that this weapon itself is not very in demand to be used. Gun demand is the issue, and therefore the prices of the skins suffer. I guess we could also take a look at the December 28 Rust store, how are these skins currently looking, and, well, oh god, that's not looking good. And then we had the likes of Desert Beast. Never did get those extra Desert Beast skins, did we? Berserker Thompson also down in price a fair bit. That is very unfortunate to see. Even Bombshell Shimonador. Maybe this is only going to suffer for a while and rebound, hopefully, maybe, possibly, but yeah, a lot of Rust skins really suffering at the moment, and it's a very, very unfortunate sight to see. This is a see-through, so it's got transparency, and glow-in-the-dark Sheepmanador, and it's in the negative. Why? I don't know. There's nothing there, there's no resistance, and yet it goes down. It's a sad sight to see, let me tell you that. And yeah, all those other skins. And Legacy Bow. How are you doing, Legacy Bow? You were available for 4 weeks, and, well, you're still in the negative, which is quite sad to see. But who knows, at some point in the future, maybe we'll see even more weird, but especially produced bow skins. Like, maybe we'll get like a special Twitch Rivals one at some point. That actually would be pretty cool. Face Punch would have to make it though, because skin creators can't manipulate and produce a completely new mesh. Only Face Punch can do that. So we'll find out what happens in the future. But that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? It would be pretty cool. Imagine if they did like holiday theme ones. Like you could have some like mistletoe wrapped all around this and like snow covered. That'd be pretty cool. Or, you know, like TF2's festivized one. That would be cool. But then you could have like a Halloween one. You could have a Valentine's one with specially with cool arrows with the hearts. I'm just saying, Face Punch, that would sell quite well. Who knows? But I wouldn't say no to the idea of that. It's goofy, but it's just a bow. Anyway, so that's it basically. One final thing to ask all of you. Make sure you're looking at the likes of the workshop. always keep an eye on that. You never know what potentially might appear, and if you're one of the first people to notice it's been uploaded, if it's a collection continuation that is, you might be the first to be able to hop onto like the Steam market and make a quick anticipation investment. So, what will we see over the course of this weekend? Well, I'll keep an eye out, and I will inform you of my Rust Workshop skin checks. Yes, indeed. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. So, always keep an eye on the Rust Workshop. And so with that, gentlemen, thank you very much for watching me today. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you had a lovely weekend. And we'll see what happens with the next Rust store. Yes, yes, yes. Will it be a whole bunch of wacky skins? Will a skin creator get their first ever acceptance, with it being the last Rust store of the month? We'll see if that trend continues. But from here, let's just say goodbye. I'll catch you all later. And we'll see how the sales turn out by Wednesday. So don't forget, look in the description of this video. You'll see all the links to my socials. I will be streaming Wednesday night. We will be discussing what we see here based on sales and figure out what prices we might want to offer for all of these. But, yeah, things are looking interesting. Yes, 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 yes. So we'll leave it for now. Have a lovely day. Catch you later. See you. Goodbye.